What an exciting day this is. A day that marks another milestone in the relationship between Siteman, Washington University, BJC Healthcare, and the Metro East community. Come on, put your hands together. A few more join me in that. There we are. That's right. And it's a day that we've been looking forward to for some time. The warmth and energy in this room for this event is exhilarating for me. So again, I say thank you and welcome to the celebration of Siteman Cancer Center's newest location here on Memorial Hospital East's campus in Shiloh, Illinois. I am your host today. My name is Jade Harrell, and I ask that you rise if you are seated and are able for the singing of our national anthem by retired Air Force Tech Sergeant Keisha Gwynn.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right. Fantastic. Retired Air Force Tech Sergeant Keisha Gwynn, thank you so much for that. Please also welcome Pastor Doug Munton, Senior Pastor of the First Baptist Church of O'Fallon and member of the Memorial Hospital East Board of Directors, to provide our invocation.
Thanks. Let's pray together. Lord God, we thank you very much for Siteman Cancer Center. We are grateful for this addition to our community. We thank you for Memorial East Hospital, for BJC and Washington University, and all the caregivers who will help. We thank you that when someone hears those words, cancer, there is a friend, a compassionate, caring organization like this to meet those needs. We thank you for the healing ministry of this place and of this hospital. We thank you for our region and all who support and encourage her, and we pray your blessings upon this day and our future together. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Munton. Today we join together with Siteman's parent institutions, Washington University School of Medicine and BJC Healthcare, along with Memorial Hospital and our community partners, to celebrate Siteman's continued presence and expansion in Illinois, here on the campus of Memorial Hospital East. Siteman Cancer Center opened its doors in Swansea back in 2018 as an interim location. The vision, though, was to build a brand new building with the latest medical technology and to provide the very best cancer care to Illinois residents as well as the region. And that's what we are celebrating today. This building will feature state-of-the-art technology and care and provide access to therapeutic clinical trials. Design highlights include a family lounge with a fireplace and interior design meant to create a soothing environment for patients and their families. As an international leader in cancer treatment, research, prevention, education, and outreach, Siteman Cancer Center believes in providing the best care to its patients. And this new building, will lead the way in ensuring cancer patients and their families have access to nationally recognized cancer care right here close to home. It takes more than a building, though. which is why we also want to note that all doctors at Siteman are Washington University physicians, providing unparalleled expertise and experience in treating all types of cancer, even those that most physicians would consider to be rare. Before we introduce our speakers, I have a few housekeeping notes to share. The first is that you do need to smile. There we go. We are celebrating. But also that in the adjacent lobby, located off the main entrance space, there's a large white ribbon, and it says, "What is your why?" Now, we each have a unique role in the cancer journey, and we also have a common thread, a why, which connects us all. So before you leave today, and even if you would right now, take a moment to think about your why, who or what inspires you. And then before you leave, please write a brief message about that why to share. We will also continue to run tours of the new facility at the conclusion of our remarks. So today we have with us many people who have been champions for cancer care, for patients and families, and 3 individuals who have experienced this care firsthand. In particular, we will call out Mark Turner, who is the president of Memorial Regional Health Services, Dr. Timothy Eberline, who is the director of Siteman Cancer Center, and the stars of our celebration today, our patients, including these 3 who are kind enough to share their stories with us today. That would be Barbara Walters, not Barbara Walters. Barbara, I know, I channel my inner journalist. With us is Barbara Rogers, who's also phenomenal, Stephen Johnson, and Selena Campbell. So if you would, let's just give them all a round of applause. I also want to recognize other current and former patients that are here in our audience who are joining us in this celebration today. So if you wish to be recognized for your cancer journey, please raise your hand so we can recognize you too. There we are, yes. Sensational. We are honored to have all these special individuals here with us to help us celebrate this beautiful new facility. Now, if you would, please welcome Mr. Mark Turner, President of Memorial Regional Health Services, for remarks.
Well, thank you. It's great to see everybody out here. What a great group. It is a special day, something that so many individuals in our community from all different aspects of our community have come together to pull together to make this day happen. So thank you for being here today and for the warm welcome and for joining us this afternoon for another memorial milestone as we gather this afternoon to open this new, beautiful, and impressive Siteman Cancer Center here on our campus at Memorial Hospital East. What a great day. Please join me in welcoming our elected officials and our friends from Scott Air Force Base. If you're one of our elected officials or one of our friends from Scott Air Force Base, please raise your hand so we can recognize you at this time. Thank you. We appreciate the wonderful partnerships those individuals have played in allowing us to complete this project here today. I would also like to thank members of the chambers, members of the community, our board members, medical staff, our employees, and our auxiliary volunteers who are here with us this afternoon. Our Siteman Cancer Center here today will be home to a new linear accelerator with the most advanced technology available to deliver radiation oncology. We'll be moving a second linear accelerator from our site on Swansea here to this location over the next several weeks. What you can't see from here is we have a wonderful location out back with the lake where we're going to be adding a healing garden, a facility that will be a place of refuge to promote healing and well-being in patients as well as help reduce their stress and anxiety. So we're excited about that. It's part of how we treat patients, offering a soothing, peaceful place to respond to their care. We have a beautiful site for this garden, as I've mentioned. Hopefully we can have a tour of that facility at some point in the future. I want to extend a huge thank you to our auxiliary, as they often have done in the history of Memorial, leading the way, for their initial lead gift of $200,000 toward the development of this healing garden. So, yes. Thank you to our auxiliary. Memorial Foundation is still seeking funds to complete the garden later this spring. So if you want to be a part of that project and make a contribution, you can visit the table in the lobby where our foundation representatives are present. A special thank you goes to all of the architects and construction crews who imagined this facility and then completed the construction. What an impressive Siteman Cancer Center campus we have here. Thank you. As mentioned, some of us speaking here this afternoon have been asked to share what motivates us. What's our inspiration? There's a long list of items, but that do that for me, that complete that passion, why you get up in the morning, why you're anxious to get to work. But really, one of the things that always touches me is the relationship that's developed between our employees and our patients. It's when our employees go that extra mile. They develop a relationship with the family, with the patients, and they do so many things outside the ordinary course of care, whether it's running and picking up a special gift, conducting a wedding ceremony on site, sewing the wedding dress, baking the wedding cake. Those are all the kinds of things that I see here. And there have been so many more over the course of my 16-year career here with Memorial. So our employees consistently go above and beyond to make a difference and touch the lives of our patients. These acts of kindness are a true testament to Memorial's mission of providing exceptional health care and compassionate service that our employees deliver on each and every day. So to our employees, I say thank you. That's what inspires me and makes me so proud of our team. I want to take a special moment, though, to thank our board of directors, history of Memorial Hospital, our colleagues at BJC throughout the whole organization that pulled together for this project, and our colleagues at Washington University School of Medicine. Everybody pulled together, really put this project in place, and what's represented here are many, many, many man-hours of work together, coordinating the building, coordinating the services, and of course, relying on the expertise of our clinicians. So we can all take great satisfaction and joy in what we have accomplished here together. And it truly is something that we have accomplished together. So thank you very much. I am going to now place my photograph that represents my inspiration and my passion. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Turner. Now, please welcome Dr. Timothy Eberline, the wearer of many hats. He is the chairman of the Department of Surgery at Washington University School of Medicine and Surgeon-in-Chief at Barnes Jewish Hospital. We welcome him today also as director of Siteman Cancer Center. But more recently, on Sunday, in fact, he was named the 2019 St. Louis Citizen of the Year. So incredible. Along with Mr. Al Siteman, for whom Siteman Cancer Center is named. It is a well-deserved recognition of two extraordinary leaders and the work that they've put into making world-class cancer care available to our entire region. But don't take my word for it. Let me share with you what the spouse of one Siteman patient wrote about reading about Dr. Eberline and Mr. Siteman being named Citizens of the Year. The spouse wrote this: 10 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with cancer at a local hospital. They said she had 2 years left. I will never forget the oncologist telling us that there was no need to go to Siteman and we should simply begin palliative care. Thankfully, we didn't listen to him. The cancer, he said, was inoperable, turned out to not only be operable, but curable. I asked one of the surgeons at Siteman why the other hospital would have told us that. It was inoperable, he said. In their hands, given their resources, they weren't lying to you. I always wonder if we had lived in another city without a major cancer center of excellence, whether we just would have believed the first guy. So if you are diagnosed with cancer, don't worry about offending anyone. Just get to Siteman. What a wonderful story. So please welcome here one of the people who helped build an institution that kept that couple together, Dr. Timothy Everline.
Was this a great day or what? Huh? Come on. Geez, I mean, you know, it's like nobody is here. I mean, come on. You know what I mean? Let's hear it. Yeah. All right. Now, let me tell you, you know, things like this don't happen easily. It takes a village to make a cancer center like this in a community and provide access to world-class care in a community like this. It takes lots and lots of people. And I think back to, 10, 15 years ago, when John DePercio, who's our deputy director, and Bill used to collaborate on patients and exchange ideas and patients, et cetera. And what happened? Here we are a few years later, and Bill and his colleagues are all members of our faculty. And we have a philosophy at Siteman Cancer Center that actually is a little different than a lot of places. And that is that we want to be able to provide the best of care in the locality where the patient lives. That seems pretty obvious, doesn't it? I mean, if you think about it, you're going to have your family, your friends, your support systems local to give you help. There is no cancer patient who doesn't need that support and help. And so this philosophy has translated into us building these wonderful facilities. I commented when I came in today, gee, this is gorgeous. I mean, how come we don't have this at a mother house? I mean, I have to speak to somebody in charge here, you know what I mean? Actually, though, this is a beautiful facility, and it has state-of-the-art equipment, and more importantly, state-of-the-art physicians. And it has state-of-the-art protocols for taking care of patients. And because of that, it also accesses the more than 500 new clinical trials that we have at Siteman Cancer Center. And if you think about cancer treatment, it's the innovation from trials that create these new ideas, new treatment paradigms. And that's what leads to cures. And so Siteman has invested hugely over the last 20 years in finding cures. And I can tell you that of the 1 million unique patients that we have cared for, the biggest group of patients are survivors. And because of that, just like our 3 patients we're going to have in a minute, biggest group are survivors. And so in the last several years, we've also decided to have another prong to the attack. So are we looking for new treatments, new treatment paradigms, better support of patients, et cetera? Absolutely. We'd like to think that we do that better than anybody in the world. But we decided to make a major thrust in actually helping survivors. Because any of you in the audience who have survived cancer, I'll bet have some side effect of the treatment. Whether it be paresthesias or numbness, whether it be chemo brain, whether it be joint discomforts, etc. And so we've now focused our attention on how to make those aspects of patient care even better. And so it's all about the patients. It's the focus on the patients that really makes us stand apart. And Mark's comment about the way the staff care for patients in this community, that's exactly what we want at Siteman Cancer Center. We want this to all be a family. We're all one big family, one extended family, taking care of each other, just like each and every one of you would care for one of your family members. And so it is a great day. This is an incredible opportunity. It's a change in paradigm. We're investing in this community. We want to partner with this community, and we're going to improve the cancer care of this community. And so that makes us really excited, and I hope it makes all of you excited. And with that, the stars of the speeches are about to come, because everything we do is focused on our patients. They're our inspiration. And I say I'm privileged to have the best job in the world. And the reason is every day I go to work, I get to witness a miracle. So with that, we'll introduce our stars of the show. And I have a picture too.
Wonderful, wonderful, thank you. Let's give another round of applause for Dr. Eberlein. As you lean in and listen to our stars, there is no greater evidence of the success of the work that we do, that our physicians do, than in their stories. And you'll hear it. I hope you consider that with your why as well as we go forward. So please join me in welcoming Barbara Rogers to the stage to share her story.
Hi, everybody. It's a great turnout. Thank you for all your support. Like she said, my name's Barbara. Next month on February 28th, I will meet my 5-year anniversary of being a cancer survivor. Thanks to all of you. When I started my chemo and my treatments in mid-March of 2015, of course, we were with Illinois Oncology at that time. And I actually continue to receive treatments every 3 weeks now. Actually, I had a treatment this morning of Herceptin, and I will continue to do that for a very long time. Herceptin is one of the great well, I don't want to say cures, but keeps me alive for the type of breast cancer that I was diagnosed with. And I was given the honor to have Dr. Popovic as my oncologist and his sidekick, Pam. And then all the amazing nurses in the treatment room are just, I mean, I could list them all. Kayla and Jessica and Teresa, Mindy and Mandy and Stacy, everybody. They're just amazing people, and they become my second family. And I always say, you know, I go every 3 weeks, been doing this for 5 years, that's my home away from home. And they're just amazing people. I was actually excited when WashU Siteman came on board and stepped in, because I know of their renowned reputation of their research and their advances, their treatments, of all types of cancer, not just breast cancer, all types of cancer. And when you have cancer, you want Siteman to be your team. And I was so excited and honored when they asked me to be a part of the ceremony. Kind of nervous now, but but I am honored to be here. Now I'm going to switch gears a little bit, tell you a little bit about my story. I was actually diagnosed from my annual mammogram. I didn't have any lumps. I didn't have any kind of effects. I didn't feel sick. I just got my annual mammogram. I have no family history of breast cancer, so I didn't expect to get the call back like 3 days after my mammogram that, hey, you need to come in for a diagnostic mammogram. And then they tell me, well, yeah, we need to do a biopsy. So Dr. Clanahan did my biopsy, and he actually called me on a Saturday. He was out of town and said, hey, I just got the email. And we did find cancer. And when you hear that word, your world just kind of stops. And from that moment on, your life changes forever. And all kinds of thoughts go through your mind, from one extreme to the other. But in my case, I thought, well, okay, I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I was in a war zone during Desert Storm. And this is just a different kind of war. And I'm going to have different weapons and ammunition. And I'm going to do this too. The frontline infantry was Dr. Popovic and Dr. Clanahan, Dr. Ladazinski, and the airstrikes were the chemo and the radiation. And then also you have to have that positive attitude and that fight like a girl attitude. Everybody kept telling me that. I said, I got it. And everybody told me I had it. I got this. And then, of course, I had my support battalion, my friends and my family, my husband, Greg, my kids, Annie, Josh, and Alex, my grandkids, who 3 of them are here today. And a tough part was my granddaughter, Reagan, sitting down there on the floor in her cute little pink shirt. She was born 5 days after I was diagnosed. I didn't tell my daughter at the time of my diagnosis because I didn't want her to be stressed out and worried during the end of her pregnancy. So I was with her at the hospital during her labor, and I was so excited that this baby girl was coming. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, am I going to see this baby girl grow up? And she will be 5 on March the 5th. And she has a special place in my heart, along with my other grandkids. And just as I was going through my treatments and she was newborn, and just to hold her and rock her and talk to her and look at her pretty little face, that was such a comfort for me. And she has that place, Reagan. And my other grandkids, oh my gosh, their hugs and their silly little personalities, they got, whether they know it or not, they got me through this. Okay, and as the months went on and things, you know, the baby grew and my treatment went on, my husband, Greg, and my kids and my grandkids, they got me through the journey that consisted of multiple surgeries, 7 rounds of chemo, 66 radiation treatments, and I couldn't have done it without them. And my coworkers, my friends, that is so important when you're going through your journey of fighting cancer. And that's what fighting cancer is all about. So it's all about the attitude and the fight and the family and the friends and, of course, your oncology team. So in closing, I just wanted to say that I am looking forward to using this beautiful new facility, as I will still be coming here every 3 weeks, or probably forever, as long as I'm alive. And if I'm alive, I'm good with being here every 3 weeks. So, because now this is going to be my home away from home now, because my second family is here. Thank you.
You want to share what your wife is in your picture?
This is a picture of my husband and my little granddaughter. And I'm going to place it up here.
And Barbara, don't forget the lounge with the fireplace.
Okay. That is, yes.
Let's put our hands together again for Barbara. You did it. Let's welcome Stephen Johnson to the stage. Please do. Thank you.
I was going to start out at the beginning. I'm from Swansea Police Department, and Siteman's is moving from Swansea to Shiloh. So Mark and Tim, I was all going to go all Ricky Gervais on you guys for moving it. But since this is on Facebook Live, I'm not going to do that. There's no editing. My favorite quote of all time is this: if I would have had more time, I would have written a shorter book. And when Rachel had told me I had 5 minutes to tell my cancer journey, that's difficult. So I spent a lot of time, probably more time than I have on just about any speech I've ever written. My name is Steve Johnson, and I have stage 3B melanoma cancer. A year and a half ago, I looked that up on the internet, and it said that I had a 59% chance of living 5 years. Today, I stand in front of you with the terms that Dr. Viscani said of complete remission. You can clap. Sorry, I had to remind you to do that. And no evidence of disease.
All right.
Clap again. I've gone over my 5 minutes already, I know. This is solely due to the amazing people at Siteman's. No amount of technology could have done this. Just the people. When my cancer was discovered, I was told by my primary care doctor, Dr. James Wade, that there are 3 top-notch cancer places in the entire world. And right now, it just happens to be one of the best out of those 3 in your backyard. He convinced me to fire my original doctor and go to Siteman's. That was kind of fun, actually. In my mind, I am here today, and I am alive because of that decision that my doctor talked me into. The people at Siteman's make all the difference. The people. Amazing new buildings, machines, technology, scopes, etc. are all critical, absolutely critical. But cures and saves are all about the people. Siteman's has the best doctors, the best technicians, the absolute best nurses, the best receptionists, the best janitors, which is all about people. As a 30-year veteran of law enforcement, I have learned how to watch people, Every time I had to get to treatment, I watched how an amazing team of people worked together in complete concert at Siteman's to give that treatment to me. No one was more or less important than the person that was in front of them at that moment. I am sure, in fact, I am very sure that I was not the easiest patient. I'm pretty tough, but this knocked me on my butt. Sometimes it took 5 or 6 attempts to get a stick in my arm or get an IV, but the nurses would work at it and even bring in other nurses. I may have been a little bit notorious. Maybe carrying a gun had something to do with it, I don't know. I could feel the anguish on them if they could not get it the first time. It was much worse on them than on me. They even gave me advice of things that I could do, drink water, do all these types of things. I started doing it, and I just want to tell you, these nurses were simply my angels. In my career, I've had some bad things people have tried to do to me. People have tried to kill me, all those things that have happened. But I've fought for my life on several occasions, but to be honest, I was more scared of getting a stupid little needle in my arm and the treatment. The team of people at Siteman's changed that for me. They're so kind, so gracious, so amazing. Now they get to stick the first time every time. Maybe because of the taser I threatened one with, but... All of life's greatest challenges have some funny things that happen along the way, I guess. My surgeon who cut 9 inches out of my leg called me with the bad news that my melanoma had metastasized and spread to my hip lymph node. But I had no idea what that meant because if you don't have cancer, how do you know all those details? So he told me not to get on the internet, and immediately I got on the internet. He said, don't Google it. I Googled it. Only look at stuff that has EDU or wash. I didn't do any of that. I looked at all the stupid stuff. And he told me that I had stage 3A cancer. He told me that over the phone. Everything I knew up to that point, everything I knew about cancer, that meant I'm dead. I'm dead already. After the results were sent to Dr. Viscani, I met with him. His patience with me and my wife, along with her 32 pages of questions and a clipboard, were absolutely amazing. He went over everything with me. In a pivotal moment, he turned his chair around and he said to me that I have stage 3B cancer after reviewing everything. I said, now wait a minute, Doc. You and I just met. The surgeon told me I had stage 3A. You're now saying I have stage 3B. And I'll never, ever forget his answer. He goes, well, at least you don't have stage 3C. But it was a pretty awesome answer, I got to tell you that, because it just dethroned me right away. I thought I knew a lot, and then he calmly spent a lot of time, and I knew he had other patients waiting. He spent a lot of time talking to me about what that meant, 3A versus 3B versus 3C. And he talked about at Siteman's, how they use the most advanced techniques, updated charts, graphs to determine where a person was at, and that those stages were literally being rewritten by the amazing people at Siteman's. And whatever you read over the internet, that life expectancy is completely different today. And it's because of the people. It's because of the doctors, the researchers, the nurses, the people in the entire field, and everybody right here at Siteman's. And I want to tell you this, he said it with such calm, coolness, and collect, he put me at ease. And I knew he was right. About 6 months into my treatment, I was sitting in my room, my patient room, waiting for Dr. Viscani to show up. I could hear him wheeling his little chair around, kind of like someone at Walmart on a golf cart or something like that, and he would wheel this around, and I could hear him going into different rooms. And when he would go into different rooms, I would hear him call that patient by first name. I know I probably wasn't supposed to be listening because of HIPAA and all that, but you could hear that at the old facility. I couldn't hear everything that he was saying, but I knew unequivocally, without a doubt, that sometimes he was delivering good news and sometimes he was not delivering good news. Then he knocked on my door and he came into my door, wheeled his little cart in, and he exulted in a loud voice, "Steve, how are you today?" And I told you that my job as a law enforcement officer is to read people. When I read from that, is I was probably going to get some good news. And I did, and I've been so very fortunate with the amount of good news, much more good news than bad news that I've gotten. I could tell by his tone, his inflection, and his pitch that I was going to have good news. I felt for him as a doctor, knowing that his job was not always that good news. I asked him how he remembered that many patients and all of their different diagnoses and all the different intricacies and treatment and futures of these people. And I just want to tell you, his answer literally changed me in so many ways. He paused for a second and he looked towards, I could tell he looked towards memory. And exactly what he said was that he remembered people and their details by their face. Not the charts, not all this technology and other stuff, but the second that he saw them by face, he remembered everything about them. I knew at that point I was going to make it. I knew I had the exact right doctor at the exact right time because he cared about people. I knew I was at the right place because Dr. Visconti had just explained to me that Siteman's was the best because of the people that they had there. I'll tell you this, thank God for this new building. Thank you for the new equipment, the amazing services. It will be absolutely amazing to perform on people, and don't forget about every single person. Every person. I recently rang the bell to symbolize that I've survived one hill in this journey. I know many more bells will be rang at this new facility. That's what Siteman is about. And in conclusion, my amazing finale and summary, you can laugh at that, I would say don't forget to wear your sunscreen. Thank you. Anybody that wears anything that says Siteman's wash you, I love all of you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to put a picture of my rock. Thank you.
Thank you. Aw, that's wonderful. Awesome story. Thank you. Well, that was an incredible testimony. I have to say, though, gun, taser, tough exterior, I think they would have given him the same level of care, which is what we're emphasizing today. And thank you so much for sharing that. Dr. Eberlein, I think the notes and the design features about soundproofing were implemented in this new facility. Let's thank Officer Johnson again. Just delightful. All right, Selena Campbell, will you come share your story with us as well? Okay. Great.
Hi, everybody. So I don't have to say anything at all other than hi and how are you, because everybody before me has told my story and stories that you've heard before. But because Pam at Dr. Popovic's office said that Selena would do this hands down, I am going to give you what I prepared. So my name is Selena. I was diagnosed with triple-negative breast cancer in May 2016. So my story, how many people has slept with someone more than twice in your life? Okay. I get it. So my story starts like Snoopy on the top of a red house. Imagine that one day you get the bed all to yourself. Now picture Snoopy on the top of that house. That was me the Sunday morning I found this tumor. I was in the bed all by myself. I was stretched out. I was enjoying all of it. Space, my space. And I stretched. Normal morning stretched. And I'm like, wow, what is this? I ignored it, drifted off to sleep, woke up, repeat. Stretched? I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still here. So we're going to fast forward a little bit to the day Dr. Clanahan called me at work, because I said to Dr. Clanahan, I need to know the minute you know. Don't wait. Don't let me have to come in. Just tell me. So he gave me a call. I was at work, and I immediately went to my boss and said, I need a meeting right now. So pulled my team in, all guys. And I said, this is what's been going on for the last 15 days. Now I have to go home and tell my family. So if you're unaware about triple negative breast cancer, I am not a doctor, but I will tell you, triple negative breast cancer has 0 hormone receptors. So as a woman has breast cancer, minds automatically go to estrogen and hormones. So what does it mean that you have a tumor that is negative of any hormone receptors? It means that it really could have been somewhere else. So this is where my journey goes from Snoopy to Revelation. I am deeply rooted in faith. I believe that you are all here today because it was meant for you to be here. God had already had this planned. So that day I found the tumor, that was planned. That day Dr. Clanahan said you have triple negative breast cancer, God knew that was going to happen. And when he explained it to me and said this could have presented itself anywhere else. So immediately my mind went to my faith. And Dr. Clanahan said to me, you know, your response is unlike what I'm accustomed to. Most people at this point are crying. And I said to him, you just told me that God put a tumor that could have been anywhere else for me never to find in a spot that I found doing a stretch. How amazing is that? That told me at that moment that me having cancer in my breast had nothing to do with me. It did not mean that I would not live. It did not mean that I would struggle and suffer. To me, it meant that God had a message for someone. I don't know who it was for. I've never asked who it was for. I do my job, and my job is, or was, and will forever be, to give my story, that God used me as a vessel, this is my belief, to remind people that he is still here. Miracles are still being made. So, my story takes me to Dr. Popovic's office. If you know me, and I have people here that know me deeply, you can't just give me a doctor and not expect me to do research. So I did my research on Dr. Clanahan, I did my research on Dr. Popovic, had conversations, and I met Dr. Popovic. And I felt as though Dr. Popovic had been a part of my family for my entire life. I did not, on that very first day, walk out of that office with confusion or uncertainty. I walked out feeling as though there was one person who was determined to ensure God's plan, that whatever was in my breast was not going to stay, and I was going to be here one day to tell you about it. So, if you know me, the thought of being stuck with a needle requires an Ativan. It is what it is. I don't mind you knowing this. I have been and will forever be afraid of needles. If there is one on the ground right now, one of those children may get stuck because I will not be the one to pick it up. That is how deeply my fear runs. So, first day of chemo, I have a port, I get stuck, and I cried the entire chemo treatment. However, I had at Illinois Oncology, which is now a part of Siteman Cancer Center, the best group of nurses. Teresa gave me that look like, honey, we're going to get through this. And then I had Diane that said, look, you've got to stop crying. I stuck you like an hour ago. Why are you still crying? So this was my experience. I went into 8 treatments. And I went into 8 treatments with teary eyes, not because I was afraid of dying or not because I was afraid that this wouldn't work. I had faith in my team. But I went through this because there are people who will never get the opportunities that I've had to have had the kind of team that invested in me. Dr. Popovic told me very clear, this is aggressive. Stage 2B, like Steve, I went to the internet. I bought books. I can probably have MD behind my name right now, in pencil, but I can probably have it. By the time I saw Dr. Popovic on my 3rd treatment, I could not feel my tumor. And I said to Dr. Popovic, I said, are we going to do an exam today? Because I don't feel it. And he said, as calmly as he can, he said, I'll check. And he checked and he said, you're right. I don't feel it. I said, oh, great, we can stop. He said, no, we can't stop. 8 treatments, 16 weeks, 33 radiation treatments through summer of 2016 until December 31st, 2016. I would not trade my experience for anything in the world. It is something that I needed to go through. I am grateful to have had my medical team. My work team is somewhere in here. My home team. My mom is sitting here in front of me, and I had to tell her a lot. Mommy, please don't cry. As long as you see me smile, that means I am okay. And I smiled every day I could. This was not supposed to be the end of my life. And Dr. Popovic and his team ensured that it was not the end of my life. So here we are, January 2020. I am in my 40th month. I have 20 months to go. Do you not believe I am counting them like you just don't understand? I had one request of Dr. Popovic because I'm a realist. Could you please not retire before my time is up? I would like to think that we have that kind of relationship that he would honor my request. However, I am also understanding if you need that time to relax. So, I am the first of 8 women in my family to survive breast cancer. I will not be the last. I am not dedicated to any part of my body that is not dedicated to me. I am dedicated to those of you that have been here to support me every step of the way. In the next 20 months, we are going to prove that AC&T, my cocktail, did its job. I have 5 grandchildren that I have to see get married, 2 of which are here today, and they are going to do great things. If you are here today in this audience at this event, watching live on Facebook, it is because you were meant to be here. This was the plan for you today. My only request, men and women, check your boobs. Seriously, check them. It's a lifesaver. Touch yourself. Get to know your body. If it doesn't seem right, make a call. It could save your life. My inspiration is a collage of my family, my friends, my employees, my peers, who have all been phenomenal, the best support ever. This is for you all.
Triumph, triumph, triumph. Let's put our hands together and give thanks again for all of our speakers. So I would now like to invite some of the individuals who care for patients to join me on stage to help toast the opening of Siteman Cancer Center's newest location here at Memorial East. Please welcome our Washington University physicians at Memorial Hospital East. Come on up. They and their entire staff at this wonderful new facility work tirelessly for you, inspired by their patients and the support of the entire community. So we raise our glasses. Joining together today, we are one, working toward a healthier, stronger, and united community. May all who enter this facility, these doors, experience the healing that has been mentioned by so many people today, and they may know and feel the support of those around them, their family and friends, their care providers, their community. In Italy and Spanish-speaking countries, they say salud at the end of a toast. It means health. Let us toast to the health of everyone here and in our community by saying it together with joy for where we stand today. Salud! Salud. Fantastic. Nah, we're not done yet. There are some very important people on that photo ribbon, but there are more who deserve to be there too, and that includes you. So we're going to take a Polaroid of everyone here tonight. If you will come together where we can get a good shot, we are committed to Siteman because they are committed to us, to our community. All of you who are here with us today represent this beautiful community we have in Illinois. Please help me complete the photo ribbon by joining together for a group picture. We're going to get that of all of you. So on 3, big smiles, big hearts, and big joy. 1, 2, 3, salute! Fantastic. Mm-hmm. Ah, that's good. Applause, everyone, applause. Did you all get it? You're welcome to stay. I mean, the music. Today marks another milestone in the history of Siteman Cancer Center, Washington University School of Medicine, and Memorial Hospital. A special thanks to Keisha Gwen Gooden and all the dedicated physicians and staff. Let's have her come on up and do that. Keisha, come on back. You're on this side. If we'll turn our attention to Keisha, please, as we close out in song.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Yeah, gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now. The pain is gone. All of my bad feelings have disappeared. Hey, there is a rainbow I'm praying for. It's gonna be a bright, sunshine day. Look all around, nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, nothing but blue skies.
Thank you all for joining us in this celebration of our new Siteman Cancer Center here at Memorial Hospital East. Much love and thanks and all the best to you. Have a